The last 24 hours have been dramatic. Explosions, an escalation in the morning, a ceasefire announcement in the evening. That too by US President Donald Trump. And then Pakistan being Pakistan, breaching the ceasefire within hours. We told you all about that last night. There were drones and projectiles, blackouts and sirens. A repeat of the past few days. India responded proportionately. Now we are calling it a stoppage of firing rather than a ceasefire. Needless to say, the border has remained tense. India says Operation Sindur is still on. What does that mean? In simple words, this is the new normal. You fire at us, we fire back. You behave yourself, we leave you alone. That is the sum and substance of the message from India. The fighting may have de-escalated, but the conflict with Pakistan is on. So how did the ceasefire come about? Why did India agree to it? Were there mediators? What moved the needle? Tonight, we are bringing you the inside story, the story of how India and Pakistan effectively hit a pause button. A story that the world, especially the West, is eager to frame. Donald Trump and the United States would have you believe that this was American mediation, that it was Washington that stepped in and made both sides stand down. But that's not how it happened. In the hours after the announcement, we've been speaking to top sources in the government to piece together the entire series of events for you. Our story begins on April 22nd. Pakistani and Pakistani-backed terrorists killed 26 tourists in Kashmir's Pahalgam. India took diplomatic measures, including the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty. Pakistan had already suspended it in spirit. By not adhering to the rules, India put it in abeyance. Indian diplomats began engaging with their global partners. The message consistently carried three terms. The message from India to its global partners, it carried three terms: retribution, accountability, and serving justice. India promised these three things, and Indian forces began the preparation. 2 weeks later, on the night of May 7th, India launched Operation Sindur. We hit 9 terror targets in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. From 1:05 to 1:30 a.m., it was over in 25 minutes flat. India achieved its military objectives in less than half an hour. And we did not hide it from the world. India issued a press release. India also reached out to Rawalpindi to tell them that this was non-escalatory. This was focused and measured, non-escalatory, that only terror camps had been hit, not civilian or military targets. But the Pakistani DGMO was in no mood to listen. DGMO is the Director General of Military Operations. India offered Pakistan a clear off-ramp right after launching Operation Sindur. Pakistan refused to take it. It said it wasn't interested, it wanted to escalate, it wanted to respond militarily, and it did. With heavy shelling at the border, with drones swarming the skies and missiles being launched into Indian civilian areas. Pakistan also tried to take out India's military installations. It failed miserably. And this went on for 2 days. Pakistan's losses were mounting. The world was watching and making the usual noises. The world was calling for restraint. The Americans showed no interest in intervening. President Donald Trump said the two sides will sort it out. Vice President J.D. Vance said that there is no role for them. That is what they maintained. But then on the night of May 9th, the phones started ringing. US Vice President J.D. Vance called Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He spoke about a quote-unquote dramatic escalation of a conventional, not nuclear nature. And Prime Minister Modi told him that India's response will be strong. After that, the battlefield changed. This is early morning, May 10th. Pakistan launched a massive attack on India's base at Adampur. This is a town in the northern state of Punjab. Pakistan also targeted Jammu and Kashmir. India responded as promised, swiftly and decisively. It hit multiple air bases in Pakistan and caused significant damage. Today, the Indian military revealed specific and precise details. It showed satellite images, and it showed the level and scale of destruction in Pakistan, what the Pakistani military suffered at the hands of the Indian forces. And we'll show you all those pictures in just a bit. But like I said, the strike caused significant damage. For the moment, let's go with that. There was significant damage and it turned the tide. Pakistan panicked. It dialed Washington for help. It wanted the Americans to call India. Marco Rubio spoke with Pakistan's Army Chief, General Asim Munir. Marco Rubio is the US Secretary of State, their version of a foreign minister. And his next call was to S. Jaishankar, the Indian Minister of External Affairs. Now, we have learned that Rubio was informed in clear terms that Pakistan would have to make the first move. Their military would have to call India and ask for a ceasefire. It was a matter for the DGMOs to discuss, not the Americans. So around 1 p.m. local time, the Pakistani DGMO reached out on the hotline. The Indian side was busy at that point. Pakistan was kept waiting for more than 2 hours. Finally, at 3:35 p.m. on Saturday, May 10th, 3:35 p.m. Indian Standard Time, the call happened. Pakistan's DGMO called his Indian counterpart. Pakistan requested a ceasefire. Both sides agreed that there won't be any more attacks by land, air or sea. This ceasefire came into effect at 5 p.m. The DGMOs agreed to speak again on Monday, that is May 12th. That is the story of the ceasefire. That is how Pakistan sued for peace and asked for a ceasefire, which they're already drilling holes into.